house is to make sure I set the intention correctly for what I want the open house to do for me. And my rule was always I wanted to find one buyer this week who is unattached to another realtor, who is in the market and ready to buy and is qualified to buy. People always say, why do you do an open house to get clients? It's way too vague. So if I leave with one appointment, and my goal was to leave with an appointment, not 10 names on a register. So that was always my start. Second, when somebody comes to the door, we're going to use our 3-step process: enroll, acknowledge. Hey, how you guys doing today? Thanks for coming in. My name's Peter. And then I love the following question, see if this works for you. When they come in and say, hey, let me ask you all a question. Have you found anything yet that's even close? And what that question triggers is a natural conversation about where they are in their process. And if they go, what do you mean by that? I mean, have you found a house yet that's even close to something you like? Or no, we're just beginning the process. Or we've been looking for 2 years. I don't care, I just want to know. If you recall, at Ninja, our goal is to be in control of the process, and the person is in control of the decisions. So the sooner I can demonstrate that that's how I do things, I'm going to do it this way. Underlying thing, do not hand them a flyer yet, because when you hand them a flyer, what do? They start looking at the flyer. I believe let's let the house do the heavy lifting. So here's how it's going to go. I'd ask them the question, hey, have you seen anything that's even close? And they go, well, not really, we're just looking around. Say, great. Let me explain to you how this house is designed and laid out. The sleeping spaces are on the left, the living spaces are more over here. Which would you prefer to see first? So now I've demonstrated the process and asked them to make a decision. And they'll say, I don't know, let's look at the bedrooms. Move to the bedrooms with them, do not let them go, and then you're going to ask questions, you're not going to show the house. And let me one more time, please do not show houses. I can't tell you how many times I've watched a realtor go, this is the living room, and it's like, really? So don't do that. Start asking questions right away. I always start with kinesthetic verbs. And so when we walk into the first bedroom, if they wanted to see that, I'd say, so how does your room feel to you? How do you feel about the volume and the general dimensions of the room? Well, it's not bad, it's cool. And then how does this relationship between this second bedroom work for you? Will this work for your living situation? And I'm not pointing out anything, I'm trying to get from them just how they're responding to the house. And if they say, well, it looks pretty good, I'm going to switch from kinesthetic verbs to visual verbs, and I say, how does this room look to you? How does this relationship, can you live with the Jack and Jill bathroom? Would that work for you? And we're going along, and 97% of the time, statistically, the house does not work, right? And there's a moment where you can tell when you're talking, and you're maybe a little forward and little questions, and how do you guys live, and would this work for you? And they're like, yeah, no, we don't really, yeah. And you know how they get. And there'll be a moment when obviously that house does not work for them. At that moment, acknowledge it, and just say, hey, I don't think this is the right house for you. And they'll go, yeah, not really. And then you transition to, let me ask you a question. Has anybody yet, any agent, given you a buyer's packet of information? And the answer will be, no. What do you mean? Say, well, I have created a buyer's packet that will really show you everything that we do to make sure that you find the right house in the right amount of time. And they go, huh. And I say, let me ask you a question. I'd like to offer you something. I have a process that's designed to help you find the right house in the shortest amount of time. Make sure you don't miss anything. Make sure you don't overpay, and make sure you don't buy a lemon. And I'd love to share that with you. It takes 45 minutes or an hour. And I can do it either after the open house today, or I can do it tomorrow in the afternoon. I've got good time at 4. Would that work for you? When you invite to a process rather than to showing houses, the whole dynamic changes entirely. And here's the key. Remember this idea of equity sensitivity? When you ask if they have received a buyer's packet of information, you can either hold one, sort of lightly hostage, or you can hand it to them. But if you say, do it naturally, pick up the buyer's packet of information. Has anybody given you a buyer's packet of information? They say no. Say, hey, let me offer you this. And I would hold the package if you want it. I have a process I'd love to share with you, and I think it will allow you to find the right house in the shortest amount of time. Make sure you don't overpay. Make sure you don't miss anything. And clearly, hopefully, we don't want to have you buy anything with a problem in it. Would that be valuable to you? I just repeated it so you got it twice. And then they'll go, I have time tomorrow, and you'll offer that. Okay, that's what we think is the great.